What is up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you guys very specifically relating to government contracting job. As you guys read from the actual title of this video is how you guys can make $40 an hour as a government contractor. Now I've been doing government contracting for several years now. I've been making about $38 an hour doing this. I'm more in the security sector of things, and government contracting is not what it sounds like. It's not doing mercenary job or anything else like that. It's specifically using a skill set that you have, such as medical field, police officer, engineering, construction, or even landscaping, in any aspect of things for you to work within the federal government. If you are like me, who has been applying to hundreds of jobs, I specifically applied to 247 jobs before finding this government contracting job, and you're just tired of trying to apply it for doing the specific skill set that you have a bachelor for or any sort of experience with in the private sector, consider going into the government contracting. Now, as you guys have been following the election and know about the new administration coming up, Elon Musk and Vivits are currently in charge of an agency that's ultimately going to get rid of 85% of the government. Now, the government isn't just going to disappear. The majority of it is going to be contracted out, and it's going to be privatized, and this is where you come into play. So if you are planning to make $40 an hour or want to make up to $40 an hour in some aspect, consider going to the government contracting job now, because before you know it, all of that, people are going to just jump into it because it's guaranteed a paycheck for the rest of your life in a sense, because you're going to have a contract. You're going to have a contract with the federal government. So keep that in mind, and if that's something that you're interested in, I would jump into the bandwagon now. So I'm not trying to hire you for any specific agency. I'm not trying to sell you any other stuff, but if you're having a difficult time finding a job, like I said, this might be the way for you to go. So one off the bat, where can you find a government contracting job? The easiest thing to do is really go on LinkedIn, go on Indeed, go on any sort of work website that has any sort of jobs in there, and just put federal government contracts, and you're gonna have thousands. You're gonna have anything from nursing to landscaping to police officer to security to engineering to construction. You're gonna have a ton of job open and available for you. And honestly, with Elon Musk and Vivid coming into the government and planning to get rid of 85% of it, you're gonna have so many more coming into play that are gonna be privatized. You're essentially not a government employee, but contracting for the government. Now, before I carry on this, I want to talk to you guys about what exactly are you contracting from. So this is one thing that I didn't even know when I started working. I thought it was just kind of a security company, but it's not. The majority of government contractors are basically taken by hiring companies. Is ultimately agencies that all they do is hire. They mass hire a specific task or job. They just bid on the contract from the government, whether it's for security, landscaping, or anything else like that, and they're just good at hiring. They're essentially just a massive HR company. So if you have HR experience, you might actually be successful in that field as well. I know quite a bit of people that are within the HR aspect of my corporate, and they make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So those are all possible. It's just a question of you being able to have a specific skill set and looking for it in a sense. So now, this is not exactly the easiest job. The majority of you might not qualify simply because of your background check. So this is another thing too, is going into government contracting, it isn't exactly easy. The biggest thing about it is the background check, which honestly is not difficult as long as you don't have a felony or a large misdemeanor such as theft or fraud or anything else like that. As long as if you can have a misdemeanor in some contract depending on where you go, as long as it's just, you getting drunk and stupid in college or just doing something small. But if it comes down to theft, fraud, or anything that ultimately can hurt or potentially was abuse of somebody else, don't even bother applying basically. Because government contracting isn't exactly meant for people that have committed those type of crime. But if you have a clean slate and you have nothing on your record, consider applying for government contracting. I mean, if you already applied to thousands of other jobs in the private sector, what else is wrong with applying with the government contracting? Now, for me, I work within security. I've been working for security for several years. I was in the military before that, so I do get paid $40 an hour for most parts. And yes, for a security job, that is actually outrageously high pay. But when it comes down to the private sector, if I were to do the same exact job, because I am an armed security guard, If I was to do the same job on the outside sector, whether it is through a third-party company, I'm not going to name any specific company, I'll be making $25 an hour, and I'm making 40 doing the same thing, but as a federal contractor. So this is what I say is start looking into government contracting job with the new administration, start getting ahead of the curve, because if they're going to privatize 90% of the government or 85% of the government like they're planning to do, it behooves you to actually get ahead of the curve and start getting on there before there's a mass hiring or a mass amount of people applying for the same exact job. You're essentially a private employee that are within the private sector, just being contracted by the government. You're not a federal employee. You don't work for a federal agency. You're simply within a federal contract. That is it. And that is really how you can make $40 or up to $40 an hour. Now, I've seen some people make up to $55 an hour, and those are nurses and doctors and so on, which, if that's you, even better. But if it's not you, you know, landscaping and things like that, you can still make 25, 40 in some aspects. So those things to consider. Now, if you are interested in actually knowing how to start an agency and get contracted by the government to do a specific job, like whether you have an HR company and you're just doing a hiring for the specific skill sets, I would do a whole separate video on that. So you have to essentially bid for those contracts. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go with Vivid and Elon Musk. This is just us trying to get ahead of the curve, whether it is something that you're trying to do in the security sector, construction, landscaping, whatever it is that you decide to do, and that's something you want to interested in, making $40 an hour, apply for federal contractor. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video and this actually helped you guys, I've been doing quite a bit of video relating to UPS and other videos like that essentially help thousands of you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe icon. Let me know in the comments section any question you have. I usually respond to 90% of you, if not 99% of you. And I really just get back to you as soon as I can, whether it is within a month or so. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.